the prince. For having lost him, you too would abandon me. Is this the price of my failure, then? Of course. 'Tis only just that you be the one to send me to him now.
No! You have it wrong! The prince is alive!
Mission?
Killing Luis to lift the prince's curse.
His Highness survived the attack, but the curse hanging over him was powerful and complex.
If we don't hurry and find a way to get close to Luis, we're sunk.
What have we got here? He's an elder!
The minority tribes face walls and barriers everywhere they look in society.
I've been reading, and I hope that someday we can make our kingdom like the place in this book.
A world with no need for that abstract dominion we know as magic. You carry a certain fantasy novel, yes? It was my hand that penned it.
Dreamers like you are always the first to die. You think he's one of Luis's men? The villagers plead to be spared, but I know better than to confront a human.
You left one survivor!
Certainly. It was the first village to be destroyed by the human menace.
I will show you truth! The truth of reality! Behold a human corpse!
I suppose it's only a matter of time until Luis takes the throne.
Heed me, O kingless.
It can't be, His Majesty.
But he was dead. Whosoever hath truly earned the greatest faith of the citizenry shall ascend to throne and crown by right of kings.
But now the throne's in anyone's reach, eh? Suppose the king's magic wasn't just a myth.
Let's enter this tournament for the throne.
What? Wait just a minute.
This could be just the excuse we need to get close to Luis.
A really bad man might be our king. Why?
The tragedy of the royal family is only the beginning. The world is doomed to a war transcending mortal scale. So, what would you say to an alliance?
We were with him, but we couldn't protect him. I'm sorry.
The men I fought beside was not so ruled by anger and malice!
Count Luis gave us a dream to fight for.
Hello everyone, I am Katsura Hashino, the director of Metaphor. My representative works include Shin Megami Tensei 3, Persona 3, Persona 4, and Persona 5. We have been conducting a PR campaign, a world tour, if you will, and at Anime Expo, which took place in Los Angeles, California, we provided details on the game's setting and story. In this ATLUS Exclusive Metaphor ReFantazio story version, we would like to introduce more about the narrative and the characters. The registration for digital pre-order and wishlist are open, so please be sure to pre-order or wishlist. Before we begin, I would like to preface, just in case, that this introduction is limited to the opening section of the story. However, to those who would like to enjoy the story without knowing anything at all, please feel free to end the video here, and please look forward to the release of the title. Is everyone ready? Now it is time to begin this presentation on the story. We hope you will stay until the end. The game depicts a story of weaving bonds and becoming a king in a unique setting. The setting is a kingdom in turmoil, rocked by a major incident in which the king is assassinated. The protagonist, a young boy, is on a journey with his partner, the fairy Gallica, to save a cursed prince. However, in the midst of all this, an unprecedented election magic is invoked. The protagonist is swept into this unprecedented upheaval and ends up embarking on a journey around the world. In this exclusive showcase, let me share with you the beginning part of the story, explaining why the protagonist decides to pursue the throne, and some details on the allies who will support him. First of all, what threats are the people of this world under? I would like to talk about the biggest cause for this, the monsters known as humans.
Such tremendous power.
In the setting for Metaphor, the The atmosphere is filled with particles of anxiety created by people's feelings of anxiety. This is the source of the magic of this world, which impacts the world in various ways. The particles, called magla, are sucked up and collected by a special device in the city. It is widely known in this world, for example, as a source of funding for this kingdom. In recent years, the amount of magla has increased, and monsters have arisen in response. The most prominent example of this is the monster known as Human. The design of the Human was inspired by the many fantastic paintings left behind by the medieval artist Hieronymus Bosch. The mysterious creatures in Bosch's paintings are sometimes described as the world's first depiction of monsters or fantasy creatures. Metaphor has invited guest artists such as Koda Kazuma for background concept art, Ikuto Yamashita for the Gauntlet Runner designs, and Yuji Himukai for some archetype designs. For this title, Hieronymus Bosch can be seen as the fourth great guest artist to join, lending us his hand. The protagonists will meet people suffering from these monstrous threats, and their journey will be filled with turbulence. Now let's talk about what sort of situation this world is in. The story takes place in the United Kingdom of Ukrainia, a country that was originally divided into 3 separate countries that were then annexed into one. However, the power of the royal family has already waned, and a cadre of officials from the state religion known as Sanctism now effectively rule the country. At the top of the list is Sanctifex Forden. The aging king had no heir, and many of the people were beginning to look to the moderate Forden as their next leader to avoid political instability. On the other hand, there are a few who do not agree with Forden and the Sanctist vision. The person leading the charge on that end is a man named Luis, who at a young age became a powerful military elite. Luis is a man who declares that the kingdom has become infested with humans because of the anxiety brought about by the king and Sanctism, and he seeks to protect the weak who follow him from the monsters by force of arms. He is also a charismatic figure with a growing number of enthusiastic sympathizers in various locations. The story of Metaphor opens with a shocking scene in which Luis assassinates the king with his own hands. In fact, Luis is a great traitor who not only killed the king, but also plotted the assassination of the prince, who was heir to the throne.
You go too far, Luis.
Now that the king has been killed, if Luis wins the battle with Forden, a man who killed 2 generations of the royal family could potentially become the next king, a situation that the supporters of the royal family would risk their lives to prevent. So far, we have revealed that the protagonist is traveling with the fairy Gallica to save the cursed prince. But in fact, his mission is to defeat Luis, the one who casted the curse.
Until he attacked the prince.
From the beginning of the story, the protagonist and Gallica have been on a mission to assassinate the treasonist Luis.
So killing him is the only way to lift it.
Assassinating Luis is a tremendous journey for the protagonist, unnamed boy, and his partner Gallica. The symbol of Luis's power is the Caradrius, the world's only flying gauntlet runner, which also serves as his headquarters. However, the protagonist encounters a human before he even meets Luis, and in the process, he awakens an archetype, a power of heroism that lies deep within him, and he survives, albeit painfully. The protagonists make their attempt on Luis's life at the royal funeral. However, the face of the king, who should already be dead, appears in the sky, and a proclamation is made that the next in line to the throne will be the one who is most desired by the people.
I am Hythlodeus the
This is the result of a formidable magic power, inherited only by the king from generation to generation, which he had arranged to be triggered upon his death.
Didn't you say Hythlodeus the Fifth?
Thus, an unprecedented upheaval ensues, with the entire population of Ukrainia competing to gather support by a set deadline. This is the background of the invocation of the election magic, which is the first turning point in the story.
Hear and now witness.
Immediately after this magic is invoked, The king's face in the sky above shows the current popularity rankings, and the faces of Forden and Luis appear, big and bold. In other words, at the start of the story, we are at the beginning of a conflict between two huge forces. Sanctifex Forden, who is in effect the ruler of the country, and Luis, a charismatic rebel in the military. In the process, the protagonist decides to jump into the turbulent journey for the throne in order to save the prince, his best friend since childhood, and to take Luis's life for that purpose. Now let us introduce you to the allies who will join the protagonist. Gallica, the fairy who has been with you since the beginning of your journey, is your partner who guides you along the way and provides you with direction.
A stench in the air?
Fairies are rare in this world, and although they cannot participate directly in battle, they are especially important because they are companions who can help confirm plans and provide local information, guiding the protagonist in both nagging and kind ways, so that he does not get lost. However, she sometimes gets complaints from other team members saying that they can't sleep from the sound of her wings when she flies around while they sleep. Here is the keeper of Academia, the facility for archetype customization, who I mentioned in another video. His name is Moore. Moore is the author of one of the key items in the game, the fantasy novel that the protagonist carries. He is imprisoned in this mysterious space. He is well versed in a variety of knowledge and offers various advice to the protagonists as they research their archetypes. He is also a supporter and one of the followers we introduced in another video, meaning you can nurture your bond with him. As a person who has been exploring this world since his youth, he, as a follower, governs the Seeker archetype lineage. The Seeker, which the protagonist first awakens, belongs to this overarching Seeker lineage.
This is no time for
The story begins with the protagonist being assigned the mission of sending a message to an ally. Due to strict confidentiality, only Gallica was informed of the details of the message, namely the mission to assassinate Luis, who cast the curse, in order to break the prince's curse. Grias is the ally who you need to deliver the message to. He is not only a master of martial arts, but also skilled in magic, and once even attempted to master archetypes. Luis is not an easy target to approach. However, with the assumption that he will surely appear at the king's funeral, the protagonist, along with Grias, join hands on this mission. In order to deliver a message to Grias, who is undercover as a soldier in the royal army, the protagonist first volunteers to be a soldier at the recruitment center in the royal capital. There he meets Stroll, a young man of noble birth. It is a rare sight to see a noble volunteering for military service, but he seems to have a deep grudge towards humans from prior experience. Perhaps because of this, he has the courage to stand and fight as a noble in front of other citizens, and he has a strong sense of justice, treating everyone equally. Party members can freely swap between the archetypes that the protagonist acquires during his journey. But the first archetype that awakens in Stroll is the warrior. His beliefs are embodied in his heroic image and give him new strength. The name of this red-haired warrior is Hulkenberg. She is a member of the Holy Order and once served as the prince's guard. However, during Luis's attack on the prince, she was unable to fulfill her duty to protect him and stepped away from the royal capital for a long time. She continued her journey, searching for the whereabouts of the prince, without a clue as to his safety. In the midst of this disappointment, she learns of the king's death and returns to the royal capital, where she meets the protagonists. She would then throw herself into the fray once again.
He manipulates them as puppets with foul magic.
The first archetype to awaken in her is the knight. With her pride as a knight and unwavering determination, she is a reliable presence in the party. She can be a bit stubborn and stoic at times, but on the other hand, she has her goofy side, such as relishing in eating unconventional food.
You're completely serious, aren't you?
As a side note, when we first announced this work, we had a red-haired elf-like woman as our concept character. And through the development process of the game, we were able to complete her as this character, Hulkenberg. Thank you to those who have been waiting patiently to see how she would turn out.
We're but another lesser tribe the city dwellers
This
don't
is
care for.
Heisme. With his distinctive appearance, he is a unique character who also joins the party.
No mystery why.
He has a different and painful past compared to Stroll and Hulkenberg, and in order to overcome it, he decides to face his own anxiety and awakens his archetype. The first archetype to awaken in him is the Thief. Despite his seemingly comical appearance, Heisme is a skilled and agile fighter. Heisme will expand the range of the party's tactics to a new level. Now, the traveling companions will be further increased as the story progresses. Let us continue and introduce you to some of the new fellow characters. Of course, the party needs legs that'll take them around the wilderness to fight in the campaign. Those legs are the Gauntlet Runner, and Nearus is its pilot. He was originally a Gauntlet Runner designer for the royal family. He is a man of unique traits whose only interest seems to be the knowledge of Gauntlet Runners. But he is also a lively figure who brings a cheerful mood to the trip, not being easily discouraged by the series' problems that could trouble the others. Although he does not take part in dungeon combat, he is one of the key supporters of the protagonist and others on their journey, awakening the gunner archetype in the protagonist.
I'm ready to kick my feet up, lad.
Also, bonding with him may cause a change in the Gauntlet Runner itself. Please look forward to that as well. Let's continue the introduction further. This is a scene from a major national event. The name of the beautiful woman standing on stage is Juna.
So you're not just a pretty face.
She is a songstress known to have the most beautiful voice in the kingdom. She is even more famous than the royal family, despite the lack of modern media in the world. Juna, in fact, has an unexpectedly important background, and she too awakens an archetype, the Masked Dancer, and later joins the protagonists in their journey. The character art is by Shigenori Soejima, a well-known artist in the Persona series. Juna's costume is prominent, but in order to achieve the vivid and fashionable art that we are known for, while still fitting in with the fantasy world, we created characters unique to this title, referencing the swinging London fashion movement of London in the 60s. We are pursuing a particular artistic style, which we hope you will enjoy in your gameplay. We have introduced the companions that'll join you on your journey. And one thing to point out is that they're all from different tribes. In the previous information drop, we have told you that there are 8 tribes in this world. The Clamar, averse to irrationality. The Rusat, who pride themselves on strength. The Rogue, who are long-lived and see the value in passing something on. The Ishkia, said to be highly intelligent. The Nidia, who are particularly sociable. The Paripus, who love a lively banquet. The Ujif, who value harmony. The enigmatic Mustari, who do not speak much. In addition to those 8, there are the Elda, the protagonist's tribe, whose existence itself is rare. These tribes are set based on a concept unique to this game. The motifs we used were the traits and characteristics that people have. To draw a line with standard fantasy world settings, the tribes in this game were created from scratch, being inspired by the biases of people's personalities and values.
Is this the only way you could think to distinguish?
This is one of our efforts to rebuild the fantasy RPG from the ground up, and we hope that you will enjoy the freshness of this new experience. The title also features gimmicks to make the game more exciting, such as the election magic and the Great Race Across the Kingdom, which is held as part of the popularity contest. In a kingdom ruled by a monarch, it is truly an event that turns things upside down. In the confusion of not knowing what is right and wrong, what ideas will people come up with, and what will people seek in a king? Although the word election may sound formal to some, we incorporated it because we thought it would be a device that would provide unpredictable developments when depicting a fantasy story. Please look forward to more details on this. Well, how was it? In a world where anxiety, which we all inherently carry, is becoming a real force to be reckoned with, and in order to confront it, we must awaken the heroic powers or archetypes that we are also born with, and overcome our fear of an unknown future. We created this RPG with such a goal in mind. Unlike the contemporary story we have made in the past, there are various settings that are unique to Metaphor, but we have created a game that can be enjoyed by all users. For example, we have a memorandum function that can be activated with a single button during play, to give the player the freedom to enjoy the details of this world setting. We hope that many people will play the game once it is released, so please stay tuned. Once again, Metaphor is scheduled to launch on October 11th, 2024. Pre-orders for both the physical and digital versions are now available. We hope you will pre-order or wishlist today. Those who pre-order will receive the Archetype EXP chest set and the Adventures Journey Pack as pre-order incentives. Both items are useful for in-game consumables for battles and party development, so don't miss out. Metaphor is also available in special deluxe editions for both physical and digital versions. We have a limited number for the collector's edition, so if you would like to secure one, please do so as soon as possible. In the next exclusive showcase, we will finally reveal what kind of competitors will emerge in the actual campaign, and what kind of supporters will lend us a hand in overcoming those rivals. So please stay tuned. In addition, mini-videos will be released daily by Moore, the keeper of Academia, who will introduce the various world settings of the title to you. We hope you will enjoy this one as well. See you again in the next exclusive showcase. Thank you very much for your time today.